And we're back on a Monday on the Bucksmont Business Journal at 1440 at 98.5 FM. I want you for a moment, if you will, to put yourself in the place of our next guest. You started business 7 years ago. You really go all out. It's more than a convenience store. It's a neighborhood stop. 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears. You have the normal things, milk and bread and stuff like that, but you have other stuff you can't get anywhere, like Stock's Pound Cake, which I love. You have the products from Merry Meat, great sandwiches with Dietz & Watson cold cuts. You're running along. Things are doing pretty well, and then you run into Penndot, who decides one morning that they're going to set up in front of your store, and they're going to, quote, unquote, improve the intersection. And that's where the nightmare started about 7 months ago for our next guest. Anna Ferry joins us this morning. And Anna, did I have that intro about right?
You are right on the money there, Barry.
For full disclosure, I live on North Wales Road, so I've witnessed this firsthand from the beginning. I thought when they started this, they were widening the intersection. They were going to put a turning lane on each side, and they'd be in and out of there in maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks. This has been dragging on for 7 months, and every day, Anna, it seems to get worse. Am I right there?
I have never seen anything like it in my life. I started off in the beginning kind of patient, thinking this is progress, we need to do this. Overall, this is going to be better for us. I get it, but boy, oh boy, it's not to any business owner's benefit to be patient. You really, if I had to do this all over again, I'd have been out there on point from day one and been a lot more demanding and expected them to do the things that I was told that they would be doing. If you give them the littlest bit of slack, they're going to take it, they're going to run with it, they're going to take advantage of any little crevice you are going to give. It had cost me, after the first 2 months, and I started hearing from customers just by chance, I thought you were closed. The flagger told me you were closed. The flagger told me I couldn't come in. It took so long to get down here. And I started hearing that, and that's when I put something on Facebook and got a tremendous response from my customers. I am blessed with phenomenal customers. We have a lot of neighborhood support. Thanks be to God, or I don't know that we would really be able to make it through this at this point. I was already $80,000 in the hole. For a little business like that, that's everything. We don't run on a real big, you're not going to become a millionaire doing what I do. And this is my peak time. They started at spring, right at Easter. This is my time to make money. We go into summer. Once you hit high summer, you're done. You're kind of really slow, just paying for the electric bill. September is my chance to make money again till December, because once the holidays are over, everybody's, nursing their credit cards and staying in from the cold. Penndot is pretty much just eliminated my 2 seasons because they're closing the bridge right after Labor Day, and I'm petrified. Just petrified that we're just going to drop. I'm hoping that everyone who's stuck on this side of the bridge will get some new customers out of it. But
some of the things you've been through for the listeners that they may not be aware of is that when you have traffic restricted, there are flaggers out there. There are people out there with the hard hat, the vest. They call them flaggers, and they stop traffic and start it, and they're trying. But the flaggers there, and it's been well documented on Facebook. It's not me or you or 1 or 2 people. The flaggers have said, "Oh no, go around. They're closed. They've blocked your driveway. They've closed your driveway." They've made access to your store almost impossible. And I read yesterday on Facebook, and this is why I gave you a call, that Peco at 11 o'clock, the height of your lunch hour, turned off your power on Thursday. What in the world are they thinking?
Well, they did come to us and asked me when would be good. And I said, well, Monday at 9 o'clock, because they said it was only going to be an hour or less than an hour this time. Fine, I'll work with that. 9 o'clock, they said, fine. 9 o'clock, the guy comes in, they say they're getting ready. Okay, we're waiting.
Oh,
So a few minutes before 11, the power goes off. Now we have no credit card processing. We have no, we wrote a bunch of things down. We know a lot of prices off the top of our head. We just kept track of as much as we can. Can't charge anything. And when that power comes back on, rebooting everything, the credit card processing, the 2 lottery machines, our menu boards. It is an hour process just to get back up and running.
Is that the first time the power's going out for you?
Oh, gosh, no. The very first time the power went off, I received a phone call on my cell phone at 6:30 in the morning, a recorded call telling me that our power was going to be turned off at 7 o'clock in the morning till late afternoon. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock. Well, that's a massive thing because our refrigeration
sure.
can hold coolness for a couple of hours, but certainly not 6 or 8 hours. We would have to move everything out of our deli cases, our deli upright, our sandwich maker, all our smaller units, and have to put everything back into the walk-in, which is a tremendous undertaking.
That essentially puts you out of business, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, I order on a good day, which we haven't had a whole lot of them, but right now we're going through about $1,500 worth of meat and cheeses every week. Normally, at my peak season, you know, we could be doing $2,500 to $3,000. So it took my staff. I mean, I had no notice. I called Peco to get an operator who was very upset that I was upset. And I'm like, listen, lady, you're giving me a half an hour to prepare. This is 2 hours worth of work. And, you know nothing. She didn't know anything. I did get on the phone and speak with Kate Harper's office. One of her assistants, Kathy, has been a tremendous help and support for me. And I called her to see where she could get, because I was kind of stuck with this woman. So she was working on it. I was working on it. And I called my store to say, listen, you're going to have to start moving everything out of the units and put it in the walk-in so that we can save whatever we can, keep the sandwich maker, the top of it, keep it going until the lights go off. You know, I had 3 people I'm paying to put everything in the refrigerator. Wow. So they do everything. They work as long as they call me and say, power is out.
Yeah.
They call the rest of the staff to say, you know, we're done for the day more than likely. So they're walking outside. Power goes on. And so Danielle, my assistant manager, went up to the guys working on the corner and said, so is this like the first time you're going to keep turning this on and off till like 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock? He said, no, we're done. So they went back in, turned everything on, put everything back into the refrigerators, back into the deli case, back into the deli upright, back into the sandwich maker, called the staff again to say, hey, come on back in. We are actually going to be open now, with no prior warning, with no preparation. So not only are they costing me like, hey, you know, you're out there, no one can even see that I exist because I'm totally encapsulated by trucks and workmen. Mm-hmm. You're costing me by wasting my money that is very tight, and I'm doing all this stuff in the background for nothing, for naught, because of lack of communication. So I did turn, you know, as I like to say, my Italian flared up. And so I started screaming a little bit more. And now I have to say, they come and they'll contact me and say, this is what we need to turn off the power. One guy was coming in one afternoon. He said, we're going to turn off the power. I said, no, you're not. I said, absolutely not. I need warning. I need some time to prepare. Like, this is not right. I have a business to run here. So I'm like, Peco's calling me and saying, hey, don't worry about that $3,500 electric bill you're getting every month, even though we're impeding your ability to make money for the last 2 months out here on the street. You know, no one's calling me and saying that. You know, everyone wants their tax money. Everyone wants their sewer bill money. Everyone, you know, they want their money, but they are not allowing me to make money. So it's become extremely stressful.
We're talking to Anna Ferry from Anna's Corner Store. It's in East Norriton, Township Line Road and North Wales Road. Now, this has been going on, Anna, for 7 months. I drive by that intersection at least 4 times a day, going to work and back and forth. It doesn't look like it's anywhere near complete. There's trenches in the road. There's one part of North Wales Road where there's trenches where if someone would veer off a little bit, their car would be, am I right? Their car would be in a ditch.
Would be in a ditch.
I saw them today mowing the lawn for the first time this summer, I would think, on the corners. There's debris everywhere. We've had 2 water main breaks on North Wales Road. It goes on and on and on.
We honestly, one day, this is going back a few months ago, I get a call from one of my workers. We have air and dirt in the pipes, and you know, we can't. Everything's rocking and banging, and I'm like, oh gosh. So like, I get on the phone, I call the rep's office. They're calling people. I'm calling the water company as I'm making my way back to the store. I get here. There's somebody working across the street, obviously with something with water. There's a blue marker there. I passed the truck up the street. I saw copper piping. I go across the street as soon as I pull in, and I'm like, hey, I need a foreman. Is there someone around I could talk to? Is there a problem? I was like, yes, man, from across the street. You know, we're having dirt and air in our pipes. And he's like, oh, we didn't do anything. That was the very first words out of his mouth. We didn't do anything. So he directs me to the water company engineer, who was extremely helpful. The guy was extremely helpful. He came in, he checked everything out, got people in to test the water. We got it running. We got everything moved through. They didn't follow procedure. They turned on a new valve without telling anyone around them not to turn on their water. Had they done that, if your water's off, nothing comes in. It just goes, it pushes, and it's done. But if you open your line while they're doing that, you get all the dirt and air that's been collected from the pipe not being open. Every time I talk to Penndot, he's like, well, I don't know what happened, and I don't know who's responsible for that. And my comment was, you're Penndot, you're responsible. You're the head of this department. I don't care who your subcontractor is. You need to take care of this. I have to make coffee. I said, all my pipes, all my filters, all our equipment here has big time $150, $200 filters on it. So to keep our coffee and ice as pure and clean as possible, I had to be screaming to get someone to be responsible for that.
Is it Penndot that's ultimately responsible? I mean, there's got to be somebody somewhere, somehow, some way who says, I'm in charge of this project, Anna Ferry. Here's what I'll do.
Absolutely not. They look at it like when you talk to somebody, well, I'm in charge of this part. I'm doing the freshwater section of this. I don't know anything about the sewer section of this. They're putting in new storm sewers.
Hey, Anna, they've been laying on the side of the road for 5 months. I've seen the pipes every day, right? When are they putting them in?
We had that massive storm the other day where we had that crazy amount of rain in the morning, and I was watching the storm sewer bubbling up. I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, on that downhill slope on Township line, we had so much water collecting there. I thought someone was going to hydroplane into one of those gravel pits you were talking about, which was being washed away with all the incredible amount of water we had. And I actually contacted Penndot and said, what is going on? Like, I don't think the sewer is working. Oh, it's not hooked up yet. We had so much water that day. I don't know if you recall that.
Oh, I do. I've seen that, Anna. I've seen that intersection where it's covered with mud, and then there's a couple guys out there sweeping the mud away. Why not hook up the sewer? You wouldn't have the mud. It's sort of like a Laurel and Hardy or Three Stooges comedy, and you're right in the middle of it. Here we are, as you mentioned, right down the street. They're going to close the main bridge. Until 2 weeks ago, it said weight limit 20 tons. Now, all of a sudden, nobody checked it. Now the weight limit's 3 tons. Now, how many days, weeks, and months and years have buses and trucks and everything going over there?
They changed the weight before school let out. And buses and trucks, and I got to tell you, the contractors, Penndot, all their contractors and all their large vehicles still routinely go over that bridge that is marked for 3 tons. 3 tons, pickup trucks are too big to go over this thing. That's pretty darn fragile. And the fact that they're still putting these massive dump trucks and these large Peco goes over it, everyone. Now, my Dietz & Watson salesman, my Cisco salesman, my Cormark, which I have larger vehicles that come in, they're very heavy, professional drivers, they all noticed right away when that's how I found out about it. They're like, when did they change the weight on the bridge?
Right.
And I said, I have no idea. They're like, I can't go over it anymore. I got to go all the way around. So thankfully, they have some conscience, and these drivers are professionals, but so are supposedly these truck drivers, and they still go over it.
Oh, yeah.
They were supposed to have that bridge fixed over the summer so that it would not impact the 3 school districts. Methacton, Wissahickon, and Norristown all use Township line for their bus routes. Now this is impacting not only every person now going back to work, because obviously we're in the lull of vacation time now, so road time and traffic's a little less. I believe the report that I saw said we get 15,000 cars a day on Township lines. But now you've got school buses and everything else, and now they've got to go. And the detour is North Wales to Germantown to Swede back to Township line. You're talking a massive amount of traffic and mileage to get around the block. It's a very big block.
And you're talking to a person that lives on North Wales Road. I can't get out of my driveway in the morning as it is. What are they going to have with 15,000 cars? Plus the fact that North Wales Road, quote unquote, no trucks are allowed on North Wales Road. So
it's very difficult.
And the other thing, Anna, just as we get ready to wrap up here, what I don't understand is I believe this project is $4.5 million, which is, to me, an amazing amount of money for what's being done. But if you go up one more block north at Whitehall Road, if people aren't familiar with the area, one block up, next traffic light, they're doing nothing there. So how does this eliminate a problem to do all this where you are, and 1 block away you still have every traffic problem that you have down there?
I'm not really sure, because they're putting these turning lanes in so that people can turn from Township line onto North Wales. They're doing the same thing at Arch Road at the other side of 202. They're widening it. That one poor man on the corner, he's going to walk out of his house and serve people coffee because he's so damn close to the street now. So they're doing that. But if you look and see where the curbing is, the new curbing, that's it. Wow. So it's going in, and you're going from these expanded lanes right back down to the 2-lane roadway that it's always been. So at the lights, they're accommodating people. But coming down that street, they're still 1 lane of traffic going each way. I'm not really sure how that's going to move people. I don't know the studies. I try not to pretend that I know what they do. I just know from what I've seen, they've never done this before. Right. Here's my comment.
Right.
How can you put signs out saying that Anna's Corner Store is open in August when you started this project in April? It should have been. I don't understand why they don't have a shed full of signs that say business is open during road work and be the very first thing you put out there. Don't tell me you care about my business if you don't do something as basic as put a sign out and make sure that your subcontractors, your flagger force, or whoever's out there flagging is making sure that, they're not parking in your parking lot. I mean, there are days we came out in the beginning, we wouldn't have a customer in the store, and there wouldn't be one spot, including the entire curb line, that there wasn't a vehicle.
Now, you mentioned the sign. There are signs up as you get to the intersection, Anna's Corner Store open during construction, which they just put up, about 2 weeks ago?
Yes. On 3 of the intersections. Yeah. They didn't put it on the 4th one. I mean, it's a 4. I don't understand, but I'm working on that now. Well,
let's be honest. If there hadn't been the publicity on Facebook and in the newspaper, and hopefully they would have never happened. They would have never put those signs up.
I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I've had some customers, God bless their souls, who have contacted newspapers. They've contacted radio stations. They've contacted TV stations. The newspaper from that has called me, and they've done an article. I've gotten calls from 2 TV stations who haven't decided if they're going to take the story yet. And obviously, you have come through this, but they've also contacted Penndot themselves. And the one lady who's been in constant contact with me, she said to them, he said, well, what can we do to help her? Just put some signs up. Put some signs that she's open during this time. And that's where those signs came from, not from anything else. A customer, and I spoke to a gentleman who said to me, lady, I've been doing this for 30 years. We've never received a call so much as we've received about your store. And I said, those are the kind of customers I have, and that's the only reason my head is the teeniest little bit above water.
You're a Facebook phenomenon. Yeah, everybody's talking about you on Facebook, and we're going to keep updating this story, and I'm going to turn this into a podcast, so we'll get it up on Facebook. And as we close out, what happens for the next, 5 months? What are you going to do?
Many of my customers and many people are asking me how they can help, and I said, just keep coming to the store. That's what I need. I need the business to stay. And it's a lot to ask people who are right up the road who are going to have to take a 6-mile detour to get to me if they don't cut through the neighborhood. Right. Anything they can do to keep us going. We are trying so hard. I'm doing some myself. I'm going to get into the car and do some deliveries for people who are really stuck so that we don't lose some of the teachers at the school and things like that come down all the time. So we're trying to make arrangements that way. We've looked into delivery services. These Ubers and all that, they want 35% of the bill. And that's a substantial amount of money. And I just feel like I can't afford that. And I wouldn't want to put that. How am I going to charge a customer $3.50 for a $10 delivery? That's insane. Would someone do $7 for $20? I mean, I don't understand how I'm supposed to do that. And I would not do that if I can help it. So I'm going to do some delivery. Wear many hats over here, and I'll be happy to do it if we can get ourselves through this. And then I did hear they forecast that it's going to be a mild, wet winter. So if it's mild out, people will come around. So hopefully once they finish this project, and goodness knows it's scheduled to go through December, but they haven't been on time so far.
Anyway, I knew that years ago you supported the Little Leagues and you supported the firefighters and you've supported the police, and now I think it's the community's turn to support you, and because this is, I know, a really tough time.
Well, I have to say the Norristown Girls Athletic Association has already done one weekend thing where they focused and everyone came and they're planning another one. And people have been doing things like that, and I am so forever grateful. And I know we can get through this.
Yeah. What happened to the French onion soup? I know you were...
It's all gone. We have to make more.
Well, I was afraid with the electric out. Again, tell people where you are so they know. And I think even the people that are outside of the East Norriton, Woodpain area may be able to support you.
We are at the corner of Township Line and North Wales Road. Our address is 3310 North Wales Road in East Norriton. We're right down the street from the middle school, the East Norriton Middle School. The old Wawa building, but much, much better than Wawa.
Oh yeah.
We've got it all over here. We really do. And it is a real family place. We really do know our customers and really appreciate every single solitary one of them. Again, I thank everyone for letting me feel the love, because I was really ready to throw in the towel. I was really scared there for a while, and now I just feel like it's still tough, but I feel like they got my back.
All right. Hannah, the best to you. We will keep an eye on this, and luckily, roads don't hurt me. I can walk to your store from where I am, so I hopefully see you soon.
I hope to see you soon,
Okay.
Barry.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.